Hey everybody, my name is Yessie and welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here, then you're in luck because so am I. This is my very first video, so if you guys happen to like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that I can continue making more of these videos for you guys. Anyways, enough of the introductions, let's just jump right into it. So for my February theme this month, I wanted to go with something a little less on the nose than the classic heart and rose theme that we're all kind of used to seeing. I don't want to say it's overused, but it's definitely something we've all already seen before. It's been done multiple times, so I wanted to give you guys something a little bit different while still maintaining the whole Valentine's Day love, romance theme that we're all kind of used to associating when it comes to February. So what I decided to make was a bit of a love letter theme for this month, so I hope you guys like it. On the left, I always put a quote page, which is where I'll put a kind of cute, interesting quote that ties into my overall monthly theme. So on the left, I'll have my quote page, and on the right, I'll have my actual title page. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the quote page. So we're gonna go ahead and draw an open envelope with a letter sticking out of it, and on that letter is where we're gonna have our actual quote. So the quote that I chose for this month was, "As he read, I fell in love, the way you fall asleep. Slowly and then all at once." And that's a quote from the book The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. And if you guys haven't read this book yet, then have you been living under a rock now? But I really do recommend you guys read this book. It's such a great book. It's like a modern day version of Romeo and Juliet, that kind of love tragedy. But it really is great, so if you guys haven't read it yet, I really do recommend it. Anyways, you guys, back to the quote. I'm using my Prismacolor Premier assorted marker set. That's what I'm going to be using throughout this whole video, so if you guys wanted to know what supplies I'm using, that's the kind of pens that I'm using. It's a set of like 7 fine line markers. It comes in different sizes and it has a little brush pen too, so it's actually a really nice little set. I got it at Michael's for like $5 because it was on sale, so I think the original price is around $7 or $8. It's really cheap, so if you're like me who can't exactly afford really high-end markers or pen sets, you know, this is a really nice alternative. Now for the words love and slowly, I'm actually gonna switch off to my midliner pens. So I'm gonna go in with my midliner brush pen in the shade pink. And then after that, I'm actually gonna do a bit of shading around the words with the midliner pen in red. So I usually always get the regular highlighter midliner pens, and I got the pink one as a brush pen by accident, and you guys, I am loving it. I don't know why I had not been using these before, but now that I have, I am never going back. I think it is great. It's so easy to use. I'm loving it. I'm actually thinking of buying more of these now. So if you guys are thinking of buying a midliner pen, I do recommend you guys get the brush pens, you know. I'm sure most of you already know about these and it's just me who's like just shocked by this, but I had no clue they made the brush pens too. Alright, well we are all done with the quote page, you guys, so we're moving on to the title page. So for my title page, I actually wanted to do a postcard look, so I went ahead and got a piece of watercolor paper and dyed it in coffee to give it that old age look. Of course, if you guys have a different tone paper, you can go ahead and use that. I'm just using kind of the poor man method because I didn't have any other tone paper. But anyways, that's how we're going to be creating this postcard. So on the left of the postcard, we're actually going to be writing the words February 2020. And on the right, we're going to be creating the little mini calendar. The word February, I'm actually going to make using my Prismacolor brush pen. And then after that, I'm going to go in with my gray Tombow pen in the shade N75 to give it some shade. And then right underneath that, I'm going to do a 2020 in my midliner red pen. And I'm gonna go ahead and replace the zeros in 2020 with little hearts so that it sticks to the whole love letter theme. And of course, we can't have a postcard without a stamp on it, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw a stamp on the upper right hand corner. And we're just gonna keep the design of the stamp simple, so we're just gonna make 2 hearts inside it, one big heart with a little heart right next to it with our midliner red pen. And right beneath that, where you'd usually have the little address lines on a postcard, that's where we're gonna go ahead and fill in our little mini February calendar. And that is it for our title page. Now usually I like to stick things like these onto my journal using things like washi tape or even transparent photo corners. But since I don't have either of those at the moment, I'm gonna go ahead and use glue, which is something I really don't like using so much on my journal, but I'm gonna go ahead and use that anyways. Now as you guys can see, the glue did kind of make the page on the back wave a little, which is part of the reason why I don't like using glue so much. However, we make do with what we have, right? I do want to be able to show you guys that even if you don't have the most expensive high-end materials like you're used to seeing on Instagram and YouTube, you're still able to create something beautiful and functional. So don't ever think that just because you don't have the best material or the same material that other people are using, that you're not capable of making your own bullet journal look just as great. I know when I started bullet journaling, I thought I needed the most expensive bullet journal, you know, with the thick pages that had 0 bleeds and were like waterproof, and I wanted all the Tombow pens, but you know, you'll learn fairly quickly that those things can get a bit expensive, so especially for some of us, we just can't afford that much. So just know that you guys can start bullet journaling no matter what materials you have. You don't have to focus on what other people have or what you think you might need. You know, you can make do with what you have while still creating something beautiful and functional. And as you guys can see, I've already gone ahead and started with my February calendar setup. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the empty spaces from that first week where there's only one day. And we're going to be writing the word February on it. I am using my burgundy jelly roll pen to create a sort of faux hand lettering effect to do that. And sticking to the whole love letter theme, we're actually going to take this calendar and give it an old-fashioned envelope look. So right next to the word February, we're actually going to go ahead and draw our stamp. And for this stamp, the design on it, we're also going to keep a bit simple. We're just going to write the word love in it with the letter O replaced by a slanted heart. Now we can go ahead and fill in the rest of our calendar dates. So if you guys want to go ahead and label the 14th as Valentine's Day, you're more than welcome to. You can also go ahead and write any other important dates that you guys might need to remember for this month. I for one have a wedding that I need to attend to towards the end of the month, so I can't be forgetting that. So to finish off this old-fashioned envelope look, we're actually going to go in and make this pattern around it. I don't know if you guys have ever seen an old-fashioned envelope, but it usually has this very distinct red and blue pattern around it. So we're just going to go ahead and mimic that, except we're going to go in with a red and pink midliner pen, so no blue. Also, another thing that you guys can do is if you have a washi tape in the same pattern, you guys can go ahead and use that instead too. Alright, well now that we're all done with that, we can go ahead and use the section on the side for our goals. And we're just going to do something really simple, just an open envelope with a letter sticking out of it. And on that letter is where we're going to be writing down our monthly goals. I think it always helps to make a list of monthly goals, that way you can see exactly what you need to finish each month. And that way you can also work your weekly schedules around these goals so you can actually get things done. So right underneath that, I always leave a space for my monthly finances because your girl needs to learn how to budget, so this always helps me just keep track of how much I'm spending each month. Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and make a box for both my checkings account and my savings account. That way I can get a clear view of how much money I start the month off with and how much money I have towards the end of the month. And that will give me a very clear view of how much money I'm either spending or how much money I'm earning, which, let's be honest, that's usually never the case, but you know, it'll give me a better view of my overall spendings. Anyways, you guys, moving on to the next page, I'm actually doing my workout page, and this is a very simple page. I usually just do this so I can remember my workout schedule because I tend to do these 30-day challenges or like monthly challenge workouts, so it just helps to remind me like what day I'm on. Anyways, you guys, I'm actually going to be doing a 28-day challenge this month. I'm going to be doing Chloe Ting's 28-day flat tummy challenge, so if you guys don't know who she is, I'll leave the link to her channel in the description down below so you can go check her out. It's actually really nice. She does these like monthly challenges that really just help keep you on track. She'll have a whole schedule for you guys and you'll know which routines you have to do each day, so it just really helps. The one I'm doing this month is actually the one from January because I didn't do it, so I figured I might as well do it now since it's a short month anyways. So yeah, if you guys are into the whole monthly challenges, do check out her channel. Maybe there's something there that you guys might like or might want to try. If not, of course, make sure to just adjust the whole schedule to your own workout schedule. Don't think that you have to do the one that I'm doing. You guys are free to pick whatever you guys want to do and adjust the schedule to that. So yeah, like I said, we're keeping this page really simple. I know that everybody has different schedules and different workout routines, so I wanted to give you guys something that's a lot more flexible to work with, something that you guys can easily fill into your own needs, to your own routines, because I know that everybody has like a different workout schedule. Now, something that I do recommend that everybody put on their workout page is leave a little section at the bottom for your stats. Now, this is going to help you see the progress that you make with your workout routine and see if this is working for you. So, for example, if you're working on losing weight, you can write your starting weight or even your body dimensions at the bottom, and then towards the end of the month when you're done with all your routines, you can take note of the ending results so that you can see the actual progress that you're making and whether or not the routines that you're doing or actually making a difference or not. So yeah, no matter what schedule you guys are working on, I do suggest that you have a little spot for your stats because that always helps. Now this next page might not be for everybody, but this is something that I personally always put in each month, and it is my work and finance tracker page. Again, this is a very simple page, but it helps me a lot. So on my left, I have my work tracker, which helps me immensely because I happen to have a work schedule that's always really inconsistent. My days are always changing, my hours are always changing, so this really just helps me keep track of all my work hours and my work days. So of course this isn't for everybody, but if you guys do like keeping track of your work days and your work hours, this would be for you. And on my right, I have my finance tracker, which really helps me keep track of how much money I'm spending because for someone like me who tends to overspend a little now and then, this really just helps me stay on my budget. So I'll usually just put the date and the description of what I bought and the amount that I spent. That way I know exactly where my money is going and how much I'm actually receiving in return. So yeah, again, this isn't for everybody, but if you're someone who needs to keep track of their spendings or is on a budget, or if you're just like me, who's kind of a shopaholic, then this is the perfect page for you. It helps immensely just to keep track of your finances. Another thing that you guys can do is if you're not interested in the whole work tracker, you guys can switch it out for something else. For example, something that I used to do was make a things I want page right next to my finance tracker. That way I knew like what I wanted, how much it cost, and that way I could fit it into my budget and be like, oh, maybe if I want a pair of $30 shoes, I can cut back on certain things so I can afford these $30 shoes. Or sometimes just knowing the amount of money that you need for a certain thing, you can sort of save up for it in your finances. So that's another thing that you guys can do if you want to switch those out. Also, if you guys are interested in seeing me do a whole finance and budget page, leave a comment down below and maybe I'll do that on my next video. We'll see. Finally, we're going to be working on our weekly spread, and since we have the 1st of February just kind of hanging out by himself on that first week, we're going to actually squeeze him into the next 7-day week. So for our very first spread, we're actually going to have 8 days on it instead of the regular 7 days. Of course, for the next spread, you're obviously just going to have 7 days, not 8. This is just for the first spread because we're trying to squeeze in that first day of February. So that first rectangle, we're just going to split in half. That way we can fit in 2 days instead of just 1. Next, on the side, I'm just going to put my little weekly calendar so that I remember what week of February we're actually on. And right underneath that, I'm just gonna have my little reading log. It's gonna be something just really quick and simple. Nothing fancy, I just need something to keep track of how much I'm reading every day and throughout the week because I'm kind of a bookworm and I do enjoy reading so much and I like to keep track of how much I've read. And the last thing I'm gonna add down here is my water intake log, which is something that I just now started making because I'm sort of someone who tends to forget to drink water throughout the day or just does not drink as much water as I should be. So I'm hoping that by doing a log, I'll be able to really monitor how much I'm drinking because I'm really trying to work on that. Also, I do want to point out that my camera died while I was doing my water log, so that's why I kind of jumped to my little tasks section. Again, this is something quick and simple. It's nothing fancy. It's just a place where I can put what I need to do within each week. Now, the last thing I'm going to do at the bottom here is my weekly habit tracker. Now, I know that a lot of you guys prefer a full page spread to keep track of your monthly habits instead of having to do it weekly, but this is just the method that works best for me. I actually used to be someone who used to do the full monthly trackers, but I slowly learned I'm not very good at keeping track of my habits this way. I realized that I would spend all this time making these beautiful full-page spreads each month and then just never use them, or at least just like only sometimes use them and then other times forget to use them. And I was like, what's wrong with me? I can't keep a habit tracker. I thought it was me. I thought I just sucked at doing habit trackers, but it turns out it just wasn't the right habit tracker for me. I learned that by having a weekly habit tracker right within my weekly spread, it was a lot easier for me to remember to use it. So if you guys find that you're spending a lot of time making these beautiful full month habit trackers and then just not using them, do not panic. This is probably just not the right tracker for you. However, for those of you who do prefer the monthly tracker, I will be posting a separate page for you guys on my Instagram, so make sure to check it out. Anyways, you guys, that's it for today. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel so that I can continue posting more of these videos for you guys. Comment down below anything, or comment down below and let me know what more you guys want to see or what theme you guys want me to do for March. Also, follow me on my Instagram. I'll leave the link down below in the description.